my part. I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part.
That was mildly embarrassing. I will start that off. I did. I played myself exactly right. Nonetheless, we are here. We are not as ridiculously hot as it has been previously, but still bloody hot. I don't know why bloody came out. So you feel free to make that a new word. I don't know what it means, but it's a bloody. Oh, Ian, thank you. That's really sweet. How dare? How dare? Yes, and Clem approves too as well. Howdy, howdy. Hi guys, it's good to be here. I hope that you have had a wonderful start to your day, or even end to your day, depending on where you're at. I have been trying to get better at just being ready instead of having the starting soon screen on. That being said, I feel like it's easy for me to be ready when I don't have a cup of tea, because usually I put the starting soon screen on and then I go finish making my cup of tea, but
I'm doing my
I
part.
haven't been making cups of tea in this bloody hot weather, have I? But I had a wonderful day yesterday. I went over to my friend's house and I got to play some Dungeons and Dragons because it was a bank holiday here in the UK. And so we started a little bit earlier, and they have a wonderful area with the sun coming in. I brought myself a bottle of rosé for the occasion. It was just lovely. Hola, how you going, Memphis? And so it was great. Millie's doing pretty well, I think. She we got to do some fighting yesterday. It's been a while since we've gotten into some combat. So Millie's cleric, and she is having a crisis of faith where there are a few things that happen at the beginning where basically she's like, yeah, meant to be this very stereotypical Bible thumper, essentially. Hello, how you going? Yeah, she's meant to be this very stereotypical Bible thumper, very sheltered, and then there were just a few things that occurred that made her have this like crisis of faith. And originally it was because I wanted to change gods, but then we had this situation where it's like tell a secret, and I hadn't built any secrets into my character. I thought that she was a pretty open book, and out of nowhere I decided, you know what, i'm I'm gonna make my secret that I made up my moon god, because I was gonna make her a Twilight cleric from the 5th edition rules, but then we're actually playing 5.5, so that's why I was gonna change my god, but then I went, screw it, I'm gonna stick with this moon. Could like the cow jumped over the moon god. I've decided to become a light domain cleric, and we've just hit level 3, and it was all because of just this idea of trying to move away from the god. So yeah, my secret was that I made up the god, and so now it's kind of weird because someone seems to be answering the prayers, even if I'm like, what's happening? So we might be making a new religion. So that's pretty exciting. That's basically the short notes on my little Millie the Minotaur. Hi, Aesthetic. How you going? And also hi everyone who's been doing their parts. I've been seeing the names come in. Yeah, I know, right? Well, we gotta make it popular first. So it's basically just praising a moon god, and well, not yet. We gotta be more. We gotta get more connected. Yep. The secret is the moon is made of cheese, so it's actually a cow god. Ooh, we can tie in some more dairy things. We also yesterday decided that we're going to have vision like a cow. Apparently they have 330 degrees of vision, but they are blue blue-yellow colorblind. Anyway, that's that's now canon. Good morning. Hi. Happy Tuesday indeed. Thank you so much. So yeah, it was good fun. And then it was just such a wonderful day to kind of be enjoying the sunshine, I suppose, and some a little bit of a Elky Pop. Please shout out, hi, White Alex 23. I hope you enjoyed your shout out today on the 26th of May at 12:16 p.m. British Standard Time. Guys, White Alex 23 is here. In my D&D game, Sunbeam. Hi, only girls. So in my D&D game, I have a Minotaur who was meant to be like this Bible thumper. And so she was preaching how she loves the moon and she's praying, 7 times a night for the moon god. But then I think just it happened that I wasn't really using a lot of spells. And when I was looking at the 2024 rules, they didn't have the Twilight God. Well, they didn't have the Twilight Cleric subclass that I wanted. So I was going to go War Domain Cleric. And that's why I started having this like crisis of faith where it's like, no one's even listening to me. And the idea was that by the time I hit level 3, that I find a new god. But then just how the story turned out, that we got a few things. We even went to the church. And I wasn't happy with any other gods. And then basically what my DM threw at me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to stick with the moon god. We're going to start a new religion. And so it's just been building from there. It's been a lot of fun. I've been really, really enjoying it. I didn't know that cows are blue-yellow colorblind. Look up the colors of Milwaukee Brewers logo and you see why I find that hilarious. Yes, sir. Bear with me. I think I'm using that term right. I'm not really familiar with how to say blue, yellow, or like red-green colorblind. Because I know that we looked up color blindness, but somehow it just doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, they can see in blues and yellows. Does that make them blue-yellow colorblind? Or does that mean those are the only colors that they can see? I'm doing well, thank you for asking, only girls. Okay, so, oh my goodness, we have a raid! Hi, Hexes and Vexes! Hello there! How we going? Also, hi, Aurora, I know that you just said hi before the raid. Oh gosh, you're making me cough on myself. You've made me so surprised. Guys, if we can please get a follow going for Hexes and Faxes. They are an ongoing actual play channel, and so if especially appropriate considering we are talking about Dungeons and Dragons right this very, very, very moment. So if you guys like the D&D talk, make sure you go follow Hexes and Vexes and the team over there so that you can see a wonderful actual playcast full of talent. Also, if you need to do a debrief, Emily, just go for it, because I know that that might be occurring. So don't feel like you have to chat, but it is a pleasure for those who were watching and just kind of raiding on in, rather than being a part of the cast. Hi, my name is Clem. I am a Just Chatting streamer. I just cover a whole bunch of variety of topics. We actually surprisingly were talking about D&D just before you raided in, so how coincidental. But I have moved to the UK just a couple months ago, so a lot of my content you'll notice is about me, or a lot of the conversations are about me just assimilating. And that's why we're talking about D&D today, because I have been very lucky that in my short span of time that I have moved, I have found myself a D&D group that I can play once a week with, and they are just wonderful. I'm so happy. It's nothing that I do online, but in a way that can be kind of nice as well. It's just a little something for me to indulge in once a week and make some new friends, and then it's just awesome. So that's what I was just updating about, how my cleric is going to be starting a new religion. Hello, it's good to see you guys. My goodness, it's crazy awesome, isn't it? Like the fact that there are people that are because I think for online that kind of can be more of a forced commitment. Do I want to say That's not really the word I'm looking for. I think that it's a little bit different because it's like sometimes you commit to a condensed. That's more though, a condensed commitment because it's like we'll commit to this series and then that will wrap up and then people can join for the next series or they can move on from the production. Whereas the indefinite commitment is something that is quite surprising. So I am so glad that I have there's 5 of us who are just turning up every week. We honestly only do 2 hours a week, but because we all live together, it's a really nice thing to. So we don't all live together. We all live nearby. It's really easy for us to just have a nice powwow and then just call it a day, and especially because we turn up every week, so it doesn't feel like we need to do these super long sessions. Thank you, Don. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think that makes sense, Nine Fox. So cows, they have they can see blue and yellow. So yeah, that would mean that they can't see red and green or something like that. The App Master is live. That's so funny. Loving the videos on Instagram. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just post them to all the platforms because some people aren't able to see it on one platform, but I'm glad that you're enjoying them. Thank you, Mythic. It's been fun trying to get into the editing. Yeah, best way to make friends. Yo, Joe, hello, and Chandan, good to have you back here as well. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking, Mythic. We're having a heat wave, funnily enough, here in the UK. And so we are hitting 30-degree temperatures. So it's been a little bit tough to deal with that, but that's not a UK exclusive thing. We get that all over the world of places that can hit these high temperatures. So I'm just trying to manage it without going too crazy. And then I've just been playing some Red Dead Redemption recently, so that's been fun. That's what we'll actually be doing today once I'm ready to jump into the game. Thank you, Cactus John. Yeah, exactly. So it's not been great, but I think this weekend it should cool down again. But I'm managing okay. And then, yeah, yesterday I had a lovely time. I think that the thing is, I actually don't mind this temperature so much. But it's because I stream from an attic. That's where I am with my brick wall. Because I'm streaming from this attic, all the heat rises into here, and then UK flats and houses, they maintain heat really, really well, which is great for winter. But it is not currently winter. And so there's just a struggle with airflow and being up here in particular. But I left the window open all night and it actually feels much better this morning. Hopefully I didn't encourage any bugs to fly in overnight though. But it does feel like I'm not complaining as much as I have the last few days when being in here. Obviously I'm talking about it, but I don't feel like I'm complaining like I was. Hi Yoda, good to see you. So we'll see how we go over the next few hours. I've got some orange juice now, so I don't have to constantly be reaching for beers. I think that I love my beers. I love like a rosé on a hot summer's day, which is what I was doing yesterday. But I also if I want to talk about alcohol, I feel like I need to make sure to set an example where I'm not drinking alcohol every single day. So that I have at least some credibility or morality or something. As much as I would like to, I have decided that I will forgo the beers and go for an orange juice today. Yeah, I know, right, Emily? It was great. So when I was playing D&D yesterday in some beautiful weather, and just sipping on my rosé. I call it chicken wine because there's a rosé. It's meant to be a French style rosé at my corner store, and it just has chickens on it, so I just call it chicken wine because I don't know how to pronounce it. It's not very amazing, but it's not terrible, so it's my go-to. Hi 6-7. Now, houses are really badly designed for heat waves. We need shutters and roofs that protrude over the windows to help keep the direct sun out. Yeah, I actually, on that, I've noticed that a lot of my housemates' plants have been dying. And so I asked them if I could move them because I think they've just been getting too much sun. Yeah, on the beers, exactly. Coward. Yeah, we're only 5 days a week, not every day. Hey, Farmer Stash. Chicken wine is diabolical. Hey, if you ever make it over here, I'll get you some chicken wine. In fact, I'll get you a couple chicken wines. Hi, Shodan. Team Water Vapor has jumped into action this last week in East US, huddling them breaking into rains from all the heat. Oh, okay. So it's, does that imply that the humidity is just oh goodness gracious, ridiculous, and that it's been sweltering because of that? Like, is that what monsoon season is? In a way, monsoon season. Let me have a look. Hi, Adam. Just popped in to say hi. Hope all is well. I have to go to bed. Yeah, of course, please do. Yes, I heard that she has played a Portal, so I saw that it's on her YouTube, so I'll have to chuck that on in the background at some point. Well, let me know because I haven't been to Italy. Maybe instead of meeting me in the UK, I can meet you in Italy. We don't have to spend the entire Italian trip together because I don't want to hijack your trip. But we can catch up for maybe what would be like some nice Italian wines, maybe some white wines. I think that could be lovely. Just keep me in the loop because I'm very willing to make little quick trips. Especially, I was looking at. Can I do this? I was looking at just a weekend trip, a little solo trip, and if I get my ass into gear, I can make some really cheap trips, which is the whole point of moving to Europe. Nighty night, Mythic. Thanks again for swinging by. Okay, monsoon is a seasonal shift in wind direction that creates distinct wet and dry phases. Okay, so not quite what I was thinking of in that case. Maybe a little bit. Anyway, a part of meteorology that I will look into later because although I might not be complaining about the heat, yeah, exactly, Cuba man. Or although I might not be complaining about the heat as much as I was, it do make the brain not go brain. So I will not be trying to endeavor in learning too much today. Yes, I am indeed, iDave. Do you have news in that regard? Do you want me to collect something for you? What's the plan? What are your requests? But yes, I am. I have my Pokemon Go trip planned for Copenhagen. I'm just going for a long weekend, and that will simultaneously kind of be my 30th birthday celebration for myself. I'm very excited. And I've just been trying to think. Okay, sweet. I've been trying to think if I wanted to do a live stream, but I feel like this one, because it's such a short trip, I probably won't do an IRL. And the biggest reason why I won't do an IRL is because I'm still needing to look at building my IRL system. It just gives me a lot of anxiety when thinking about it because I don't know if it's going to work or not. And then I'll be going back to Copenhagen in August. So that's when I can do some proper, bring you guys along. But I think I'll make this Copenhagen trip a bit of my time off, my holiday, as it were. And then I can bring you guys along when I go back. But yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'll try and get some extra little things that when we become forever friends, I can send one over, iDave. Aussie, oi. Not that I'm Australian, but nonetheless. Miniatures bring good luck. Well-painted ones too. Wanted to ask about the Citadel paints because I'm new to using them for modeling. I have only painted one model, Joe, so I am not the person to ask about miniature painting. If you want, there is a Twitch channel that they are on other platforms, but if you want to actually ask questions, then I would suggest Twitch would be the best place. It's called Split the Party TV, and they do a lot of painting. They're Australian based or Melbourne based. I don't know other people off the top of my head who do mini painting while live, but that could be somewhere to go. Copenhagen, is that how it's spelt in Danish, is it? I'm hyped for the Global Go Fest. I blocked the full Saturday, Sunday off. Yeah, what day is it? I think I might have to block it off too. Pokemon Go Fest. Let me have a look. There's Chicago. I think it's gonna have to be a good one, hey. I would talk about Pokemon Go at the moment, I suppose. July the 11th and July the 12th. Yeah, we might have to not stream those days. I'm not sure if I'll continue streaming on the weekends once May is up. But we'll figure it out. So, on that, it's the last week of the Mayrathon. We've done pretty well so far. I think that I've learned a lot of lessons from it, which was exactly its intention. So for those who do not know, the Mayrathon was basically just a little a goal to try and stream every single day of May, and then on Saturdays we do some movie nights for like a mini break, so we don't completely burn out. And I've really enjoyed it. I think it's a lot of fun. I do think that it has, like I said, set out to achieve what I wanted to, which was find what times I like to live stream, what days I like to live stream, if I enjoy doing the yapping and the gaming sessions, like how that all looks. And so it's been really cool. I'm very pleased with how it's all turned out. I think that simultaneously it's given me a lot more opportunity to edit as well. If you guys are following on the other socials, you will have seen the editing that has been occurring. Yeah, that's so cute. Clementine. So I think that is all very positive. There are a few things that I would like to do extra of. So, for example, I wanted to try and create some YouTube specific content, and I haven't managed to do any of that. And so that's kind of shown a bit of a pitfall, but maybe it's less so of a pitfall of timing and more so of I've not done it before, so I don't know how to implement it into my routine yet. But it's been really cool. So I don't really have anything planned for the final day of May. I think that it's probably going to be very anticlimactic because it's just another day, and that will help us move into June nice and easily. But it's been cool. I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with how it's worked out, and I just have to decide decide a little bit more intently of what days I will and will not stream. Thanks, Joe. So it's been a lot of fun to just kind of go live and yap like this, but I think it'll be cool to try and do some more YouTube specific content with either movie reviews or yapping or just, hey, here's an idea I had and I want to share it. I'm not sure. It's just not something I'm used to, but I want to practice it for sure. It'll be total mayhem or mayclem. Nah, not quite. You can't tell that it's a mayhem there. Anticlimactic. Now that's a throwback. My day has actually been really, really nice. I had a bit of a sleep in, admittedly, and then I just took it easy and moved some plants around and cleaned up dishes. I don't really have a crazy thing to share, but it's been good. I think I really enjoy cleaning up. I am quite a particular person, and so when my space is not tidy, then it makes me feel very tense and antsy, and so it's nice to just have a clean space. It's great. It's fine. I'll be commenting from Texas by the 31st. Yes, yippee-ki-yay, thank you so much. Good night, Opeka. What's your favorite New Zealand food? If you're going to try and get me to have another clip that is about the New Zealand snack, then I simply refuse to put myself and subject myself through that again. Hi, big man. But in all seriousness, New Zealand food, Whittaker's chocolate, maybe that's a little bit of a cop-out. So Whittaker's is a chocolate brand, but they make some bloody good chocolates, I'll tell you what. What else do they have? I have to talk out loud my process, because then I can think of favorite. Favorite is such a tough concept to grasp. Like, how do you choose just one? Pineapple lumps are pretty badass. I like that. That's candy? Well, okay, well, that's the problem, is a lot of New Zealand foods are indeed candy. I don't really eat any of the potato chips that they have. pies that's kind of across a few different countries, so it's not really um New Zealand specific. Or you're hunting your own mutton shops. Fair enough, fair enough. I feel like a lot of New Zealand snacks are indeed candy or New Zealand made food. So, for example, V Energy Drink, if you guys have ever had that, that's actually a New Zealand brand. I'll show you V Energy. I don't know if it's in America at all. I know that it's in Australia, but I don't know if it's out there. It does imply nutrition. No, it doesn't. Cake is a food. It's just a bad food. Oh my gosh! Gicants, thank you so much.
Clem is such an amazing human being, for real life. I just woke up and I'm about to go hopefully sleep a bit more.
Good.
Clem is always a pleasure. Be safe. Have fun.
Thank you, Gicants. You also are such an amazing human being. Thank you for a lovely message. I do hope you get some more rest. So you go head back, but thank you for swinging by nonetheless. It is very good to see you, and especially with the ongoing support. Very kind indeed. Go get some sleep, though. Go enjoy your sleeping. I am not a cowgirl. No, no, siree. My two favorite Texas things, golf and horseback riding. There we go. I feel like I would like to go horseback riding and see if it's something that I would enjoy. I've only done it 3 times, I think, and I was very young. So I've never ridden a horse as an adult is probably a better way of phrasing it. And then yeah, it's something that I've wanted to do. I've looked it up a few times. So when I was in Canada, I really wanted to do a horse trail, but it was so expensive that I just went, never mind. I don't want to ride a horse that much. But maybe one day, maybe I can find one that's a little bit cheaper. I want to go fast though. Just go with Hangi. That's kind of cute. Subway's bread is classified as cake. How so? Because it's too sugary? How does that work? Hey, Gamble. Food implies a meal, something you'd eat for dinner. For instance, tacos is a food or a steak, something like that. Okay, let me have a look. Food definition. Oh, okay. You know what? I take it. Yep, I agree. Look, this is. I haven't even highlighted that. Google themselves have highlighted that to say any nutritious substance. So, yeah, fair enough. Consumed by living organisms to sustain life, generate energy, promote growth, and repair tissues. And I guess anything sugary, like a dessert, should not really fall under that. It's primarily composed of vital nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. May also include water, vitamins, and minerals. And nowhere in there have they said sugar. So you know what? I can see that is absolutely correct. Consume to provide nutritional support. So food in that case cannot be sugary. So what would the definition of a snack be? I suppose. Can snacks, they're just to fill hunger, right? A small portion of food consumed between main meals. Okay. So snack is different to food. I like the idea of food being somewhat synonymous with a meal, and then a snack can be just a little something to temporarily satisfy hunger or provide an energy boost, this says. So that's where you can have a little sugary treat to keep you motivated, perhaps. Hey, Coda Cameron. But in that case, it's even harder for me to choose what a meal from New Zealand is. Hangi would work, but that's also kind of more a preparation style rather than a specific food. If you had a restaurant, which restaurant would you want? Like, I own an existing franchise, or I create a new restaurant? Get me back on that. And then I will answer your question. The bread has so much sugar and it's basically a cake. I feel like that is not necessarily a global thing, though. Maybe the Subway cake in America is bread, but I'm not so certain about it elsewhere. The only thing that I could imagine is preservatives. If they're making it at a factory somewhere and then they're delivering it to all of their franchises, then that might be why it has so much sugar in it, because it's trying to preserve it. Not that it's excusable, but I'm just thinking out loud. V is ridiculously good, but I don't drink it. Do you remember any cool special editions? No, I only drank just regular V, so I have no idea what any of the other colors taste like whatsoever. Hope you're having an amazing day as well, Andy. Thank you so much for the well wishes. Subway bread in Australia is different from the US. There it is. The recipe and dough are formulated specifically for the Australian market. Australian Subway bread is classified as low sugar under national nutritional guidelines, avoiding the high sugar content found in American loaves. There we go. So the American Subway cake would not fly in Australia, apparently. Sugars are carbohydrates, though. Is cake a food? If I look up cake, let's see what happens. How about that? Clever's definition of a snake respectfully. Thank you. You need a minimum of 75 grams of sugar per day to keep your brain working. So yeah, sugar is a requirement. Fair enough. But I feel like when we look up cake, that will have triple it or whatever. I've noticed English speakers blur the line between candy treats and real food. It may be a language thing. Yeah, potentially. Cake is a baker's confectionery. Yeah, we would never use the word confectionery, but confectionery is candy, chocolates, lollies. Do we have... Where's the Wikipedia? Yeah, I don't know if it would say food here. Let me see. Food safety. Definition. Other foods that contain none of these properties. Cheesecakes, iceboxes. Yeah, you know what? I do feel like it, like many words, they get adopted to mean different things. This is not uncommon. But it is interesting to kind of look at the etymology and figure out where that's come from. So I do agree there might be some language thing where we're just slapping a label on and as an umbrella term, where other languages might be more specific. Any restaurant 5-star, like I can have a 5-star restaurant. That would imply that I know the names of 5-star restaurants, and that would imply that I am bougie enough to afford 5-star restaurants. I can tell you, I cannot name a single 5-star restaurant. Is that like common knowledge? Do people just know that? And if you do, then you might be wealthier than you realize. Food is the catch-all term for everything edible or nutritional. Hard to disagree with meal being synonymous. It implies a degree of preparation. I think that Nine Fox's English is a second language, but their English is very good and in fact better than a lot of us English speakers. So I think that recognition that that there could be something in the other languages that are more specific that is not carried over or applied in English is a fair enough assumption to make. The bread being found to be cake was when they did testing in Ireland. Oh no! So how are the Irish creating this Subway in that case? What are you doing today? We're going to be playing some Red Dead Redemption 2, but we're just taking it easy in the meantime. I always like to chat for 30, 60 minutes, which actually means 2 to 3 hours, but I always like to chat before I play games, so that's why we're just mucking around in the meantime. Hey, Marcus. Australia misses out on Subway cake. The cake is literally a lie for us. Well, no, that's a good thing. We want it to be a lie. The thing about Subway bread being classified as cake was a tax thing. Bread was taxed higher than cake somewhere. Maybe that's what it is in Ireland in that case. I don't have Cash App, but I do have like a PayPal if you're saying that you want to offer some donations. We can send that through. Apparently I'm not. I don't play WoW, no. I feel like I would get too addicted to it, admittedly. What did one traffic light say to the other traffic lights? Don't look, I'm changing. That's kind of cute. That's very sweet. I can name a 5 guys. Hilarious. I know where I can get 3 or 4 sushi rolls after 5 p.m. for $10, and that is the equivalent of a 5-star deal for sure. I love this. Your body turns carbohydrates into sugar, so you don't need pure sugar at all. Gotcha. Okay, so there's stuff that goes on there. Cool beans. I'm from New Zealand, in answer to that. Oh yeah, the that was from reading a message that that we were talking about, Joe. So I can understand food being somewhat synonymous with a meal. That was something that Nine Fox had said themselves, and I will admit that I was agreeing with it, but under also this idea about the language as well. Do you know anyone that can drink 10 liters of petrol? A Jerry can. Every single Jerry, that is their talent. Hello, Vasha. How do you keep a cowgirl happy? Do I want to know? Just keep this in mind. Do I want to know? Do you identify as partly Australian after so many years in Oz? It's really an interesting one to think about because when I was in Australia, especially when I was live streaming, a lot of people would pull me in with the Aussies and in a way that I didn't feel was correct because it's like, oh yeah, like we've got a bunch of Australian streamers together. I'm like, but I'm not an Australian streamer. I just live in Australia. And so there was this point of conflict, I suppose. Like I didn't care that much, but it was something where I always wanted to correct, I guess. And then when I was traveling the UK last year, my flight was from Melbourne. And I think because I am so literal with a lot of my wording, people would say, like, where are you from? Like, where did you come from? And I felt like the answer was Melbourne because I flew from there, but I'm not from Melbourne. Anyway, so it always felt weird, but I have a point. My point is that now that I'm in the UK and I've flown from New Zealand and I spent time in New Zealand and my passport is a New Zealand passport, anyone who asks me where I'm from, I without a doubt, and this is on live stream now, I have no hesitations that I'm from New Zealand. I am a New Zealander. It's helped me be a lot more specific with my identity again. And so that's been really nice for myself. Thank you, Raven. Yeah, I don't know how you feel, Raven, after all the time. I think we've spoken about this though, right? We can spend so much time in Australia and still be a New Zealander. And I feel like I was still doing that in Australia, but it was harder to do so when when I'm in Australia. But I had no interest in getting the citizenship. I think if I was looking at studying, then that would have been a possibility, but I had no immediate plans to study. So I do not consider myself Australian. I think that I don't consider myself Australian despite living there so long. I loved Australia and Australia was my home for a while, but I don't consider myself Australian. I think that similarly, I can live in the UK and who knows, maybe ask me again in 2 years' time, but I can live in the UK and not feel like I am British. I just live here. Because I'm an immigrant, I guess. I was an immigrant to Australia rather than a citizen, and there are plenty of ways to become a citizen. But I just didn't feel Australian. I didn't vote, so no, I don't think I am. I had to vocalize all of that before I came to an answer. So I've got my answer. Yeah, I'm not like the others from Melbourne, although I feel like I was absolutely like the others from Melbourne. A bunch of Melbourners are just people who have migrated from other places. How many Melbourners are from Melbourne now, you know? They're all from Perth or New Zealand, or it's very funny. Buy her a horse? I mean, yeah, that's a pretty good answer to how to keep a cowgirl happy. I don't disagree. Hi, Francis. Do you watch Bleach anime? Oh, as in, I was like, I don't know who that is, sorry. But no, I have not watched Bleach before, but I like the aesthetic of it based on the looks, the posters and whatnot I've seen. Hi, Goku. Yeah, Stu Cats had me worried too, but I mean, they do have a correct answer. No hablo español. I don't know how to say sorry. En anglais, por favor. You have the cleanest teeth ever. Thank you. They actually feel like I need to go to the dentist. So I do appreciate that. It's something I'm starting to get a little bit self-conscious on because I am very, very particular with my oral care. Also, kia ora te tapua. And so I would like to clean up near my gums more. They're starting to yellow a little bit, despite the fact that I do, in fact, floss every day. Yeah, I'm one of those weirdos. I actually do it. I forgot about this on Raven. I was born in Australia and I'll never feel Australian. But do you have dual citizen or do you have because you would have had to get the passport to go to anyway, don't feel like you have to answer, Raven. I don't want to you to feel like you're sharing too much. Where you from? I just came from your mom's house. Get the fuck out of my face. Exactly. That's how I shall respond every other time. I've been wondering who's done the brickwork because it was a shoddy job and we need them to come in and fix it up. I'll tell you what. Actually, no, we don't need them. In fact, it would not help if it were them. I'd say Clem as a citizen of Earth. That's so cute. Well, I haven't lived many places. I've only lived in New Zealand, Australia, and now in the UK, but I've traveled a lot. And to the rest of the world, they can't really differentiate too well. Our flags don't help. Wouldn't a cowgirl prefer a cow? No, because she needs the horse to help wrangle the cows, you know? You know it's hot when the knees are. Exactly right. It's genuinely the guns. Like whenever you can see my tattoo, for people who are curious, it's the only tattoo I have. The guns and the knees. That's when you know it's hot. I need to get a hair tie. I still haven't bought a hair tie yet, so that I can put my hair up too, and then that will help a lot with the heat as well. What does it mean when when someone calls me a tosser? They want to play catch. I don't know if you are being serious with your question, but a tosser is basically like a dickhead, a wanker. I don't know where the etymology comes from though, so you have made me want to look that up. Can't believe you blocked me or put me in timeout yesterday. I don't know what happened, Shaolin. So you'll have to take that one up with the mods, but you're fine. You're all good. You're here now. I actually forgot to ask the mods what happened. So mods, if there is something I should know about this, that, their individual, then we'll find out like that. Seriously, Shaolin, don't worry about it. But I'm not sure what happened. Tosser is a compliment, sure. My other UK streamer took the day off because it's too hot. How are you coping in the heat? So I had the window open all night, and it definitely has helped compared to the last couple of days where I've been up here. And especially I only came up here at midday. Usually around midday is where it starts to get blistering. So I do think that the window open has been good. Surprisingly enough, if I stand in front of the skylight, it is very drafty, and last night wasn't so hot. It's definitely hot now, and it was hot yesterday, but last night actually had cooled down really nicely. So I think that helped overnight. So I think that's something that I'll do because I feel like the heat has been trapped in at night, which I don't want. I want it to be fresher, and I do feel okay now. And being outside yesterday was really nice. So downstairs completely fine. This flat actually is okay with the heat. It doesn't get a ton of direct sunlight. But up here in the attic is where the true issue is. But I'm happy to go for walks, and it's not making me hate myself. In fact, I really enjoy going outside. And there are so many parks in Southampton. It's beautiful. And so there are plenty of parks near me that have tree coverage, and I can just go sit under a tree, and it's really nice. So I'm pretty happy. Gotcha, Raven. Thank you. I did not know you could travel on your parents' passport. That's cool, though. They still won't let me apply, though. Damn, okay. Commonwealth Clem. Yeah, maybe that's what I am. I'm just part of the Commonwealth. I'm not cynical enough to be English. I feel like you might be right about that. Pretty sure it's a rebuild from already used bricks. I mean, maybe. Because there are some that look like the ones up here. I don't know how obvious it is for you guys. They look really, really different to the ones below it. So I have no idea what's happened, man. It's so strange. But my pitch has always been to return the Crown's full authority over the Commonwealth simply for the fact we New Zealanders can skip the con? Skip the con? Which one's the con? Re-identification? I don't know. I'm just missing that little part. Skip the con. What are we conning? I don't know who Miles Davis is, sorry. I would guess having a toss is slang. Ah, yes, perhaps. Thank you, Bravo. Wish I had a brick wall in my apartment. Well, it's pretty funky. I do like it. That's one of the reasons I chose to stream up here. Yeah, it is shoddy job, but I think it's cool to have. It's just up in, there's no brick elsewhere in the apartment. It's just up here. I think tosser's the same as wanker because they toss off. Yeah, okay, so you're in agreement with Toke there. I serve the crown. I'm a New Zealander. That's all you need to know. Yeah, I'm just missing what the con means, but anyway. It does refer to joking the meat. Okay, hold on. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, you guys nailed it. Originates from toss off. Yeah. The root. So then saying they're like a wanker really is applicable. One who throws or tosses. Modern tosser was coined for someone. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, like jerk, wanker, all these kinds of things. So I guess the question is, is that like not true? I feel like for the most part, aren't most people tossers in that case? Where has it turned into an insult? Is it because they're needing, is it coming down to the idea of like similar to when people are like, oh well, you're just an incel or whatever. There seems to be a lot of insults that are based around the idea of people not being able to have sexual relationships with people, right? It's just, but it's not like incorrect. Litera, no, I don't think that one is quite as common, but I can see how it works. I'm well, Night Warrior. How are you? Pokemon have burrowed through the wall. That's the one, exactly. Ah, they're a jazz musician. Thanks, Ian. New Founders Crown will always be from England. Yeah, I feel like I just don't have a piece of information that I understand in this regard, so it's making me unable to contribute for now. That's what I was thinking. We're all tossers. Exactly, right? It's not like, yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those things where it probably is an insult because it's trying to imply that they are like they must resort to masturbation if they are not having relations with a person. I feel like it's just it's just that kind of rhetoric, which is used today. So, for example, people often like, oh, you know, you loser can't even get a date or whatever, or like that is the thing that is meant to show the pride of a person, I suppose. Anyway, it's just, I just find it interesting to consider. Incel, yeah, basement dweller, can't get a girl, exactly. And so I think it all just comes from this trying to show off by being like, well, I can get a girl and you can't. I think that's how it works. Oh, it must have been a link. Sorry, Dave. I'll see if I can see that. There have been a series of ads in Australia using tosser for anyone who throws rubbish from the car. That's quite funny, actually. I don't mind having a check this out. One moment. Yeah, that's a good thing to note as well, Nine Fox. I know that people will use the because it was meant to be sinful as well. Because and so I guess that's another thing that I don't really relate to, because so much of the immoral things are rooted in some sort of religion, and so masturbation was meant to be anti-religious, and so that's probably another thing where it's like, oh, you are disgusting if you do these things, and then with the wives' tales of you'll get hairy palms and whatnot. Is relationship is obligatory and necessary though? Sorry, you might have to rephrase that one, Frances, in terms of the question that you're asking. Getting blind, that's another one, Dexo. You're absolutely correct. So, in terms of the hairy palms thing, basically there was a old, what do they call it? It is an old wives' tale, right? Like a fib where people would say, well, you can't masturbate because if you do, you're gonna get hairy palms, which is impossible. Like if you look at your palm now, you shouldn't have hair on it, and if you do, well, that's what you get for masturbating. And so that's come from this way to scare people off of masturbating. Because what are some other? I think it would be an old wives' tale. I'll see if there's another term that I'm missing. Hairy palms. This is weird for my history, but nonetheless. Yeah, eating the crust would make your hair curly. This is a myth. A myth is a good one to use, but I feel like it's a very specific type of myth. We have less hair. Despite rumors, myth. What can cause it? What don't have? For most people, it's impossible to grow hair on your palms. But some people could potentially have hair follicles with a extremely rare genetic disorder. Yeah, so this one's just calling it a myth, essentially. But I feel like there still could be a better word for it. Anyhow, so there was a myth that it would cause hairy palms. I don't know how that came into play, though. In America, at least, most of these insults came out of the skilled labor industries, implying that was the only thing that they were good at. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. So it's like kind of almost in line of calling them stupid as well, right? Where it's like, well, you're all you're good for is I don't know. I'm really bad at insults. Like picking up rocks because they're implied that they're too stupid to be able to do anything else, rather than it being about the ruling class. And don't get me wrong, there are definitely some people out there that are not the most intelligent, but that doesn't mean we have to insult them because of that. You're gorgeous, date me. Okay. If you come to Southampton, then we can go somewhere. I haven't been to a lot of the restaurants here, so maybe I can choose one out for us. What do you reckon? What do you think? Is that something agreeable? Thanks, Bravo. You have a great day as well. Just to toss a video. That one was 2015. They're having a new one. Think that's a launch of a magpie. Okay. I've always liked the insult smeghead. That's disgusting. I hate it. It comes from the TV show Red Dwarf. It's created because network guidelines strictly banned words like dickhead or shit. Smeghead is disgusting. I actually hate that. That's worse than so many other ones. Yeah. Why do hobbits have hairy feet, though? I feel like a lot of people have hairy feet. It's just something that we don't really talk about. If you say that, people automatically check their palm, proving their sinfulness. So you wouldn't have to check your palm. Okay, Ian, this actually makes sense. If you're not masturbating, you wouldn't need to check your palm because you know that they wouldn't be hairy. So if you check your palm, you're caught hair-handed. There's some sort of pun there. That makes sense. Yeah. So it's basically like, well, you know what they say, if you're doing masturbation, you're going to have hairy palms. And then the person checks their palms and it's like, see, I know that you have been doing it, you dirty, dirty thing. So yeah, okay. I understand. That makes a lot of sense, Ian. Thank you for sharing that. Old Wives' Tale is the one that I thought at least. What is your favorite cuisine? It's always so hard. I always liked lasagna growing up. And I still like lasagna. So I'm just going to lock in lasagna because I don't really have a better word. I'm from New Zealand. I see a future between Clem and Bill. So do I. Can you come to India? Should we meet halfway? I feel like you're right. It is probably a bit unfair to try and make the whole trek. I don't particularly have an immediate interest in going to India, I shall admit. I've been wanting to do a lot of European travels though. So if you'd like to meet me in Europe somewhere, then we both will be contributing to travel in the endeavor. You know what I mean? Well, we'll find out. We're gonna, if we cannot compromise this early on, then I don't know if it will work out. I saw a video from Tor's Cabinet recently. There's one guy who actually got a hairy palm. Yeah, this one is saying that it's technically possible. He got a skin graft as a kid, but the new skin was from his chest. And after puberty, it got very hairy. Oops, well, I probably won't be doing that one again. Not good at insults. Maybe you're just too happy. Hit your toe on some things, you'll get better. Someone is around, throw your insult at the person nearby. I think it's just, I don't know. I don't like to take it out on other people, maybe. Make sure it's a 5-star. Clem needs to experience one at least once. Thank you, thank you. Good morning. Why so serious? We can go to an Ariana Grande concert. Now we're talking. We can see it all. I prefer the taco trucks from Houston, Texas. I mean, taco trucks are pretty, yeah, I do like some tacos. It's not normal for the soles of your feet. Hobbits don't have hairy soles either, do they? They just have the hairy tops of their feet, right? My hands have hair on this side. If you have hands on your palm, then you probably have a very extremely rare genetic condition. I talk to a lot of Metis and Cree in my AA and NA group, so I have sometimes messed with food. Oh, okay, gotcha. I was Grandma Nazi back in the day, and I'm only guilty of cheating with Salamis. You're right. Thank you, Francis. Thank you. Yeah, no need to explain as much as you did, and I'm appreciative that you did anyhow. Hey, J-Lo, how you going? You can go to India if they pay for the whole trip there, and more importantly, back. No. See, I think that is antiquated because I know a lot of people expect one person, and usually it's a man, to pay for everything. I am not one of those people. I think that it is very I think it's antiquated. I feel like it is important for people to try and contribute an equal amount, and so that's why I suggested, what if we meet halfway? But I don't see someone who is trying to meet me halfway, and so I guess I've lost another date. I don't know what it is. People keep on saying that they want to date me, and then I talk about the logistics, and then it doesn't happen. What's going on? I'm really putting myself out there, and I'm not getting a lot back. I don't know what it is. If those kind of psychological tricks have a name, maybe that type of myth has the prefix. That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, like all I can think of is they're a gotcha. Iran and the Persian Gulf are halfway. Straight up in Moose Date, we could do an IRL stream there. Oh man, this has got a lot of potential. Come to Detroit? No, same thing. We have to meet halfway, which I guess would be the Atlantic Ocean. Maybe we can go to Greenland or Iceland. I'm going to Iceland later in the year. If you come along to Iceland, then we can go on a date. This is what I'm saying, is you can't, it's thousands of dollars for a flight, right? And so there's no, I think that they raised a good point, is I keep on saying, if you come to Southampton, sure. Because I was not planning on, going out of my way. Whereas if they want to go out of their way, then that's great. Like, here I am. But if we think about it, if then I am doing the same, that's a lot of money for an uncertain thing. But if you're putting in the equal so early on, maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something to be said about such early compromise that there could be potential. The second is serious, they're like, never mind. Exactly. They just want to have this idea. They want to have this idea of someone unattainable. And isn't that bizarre? Because I know that a lot of people get really, really frustrated by being accosted online, especially as a woman. And I completely understand it. It gets annoying. It's frustrating. I don't want my conversations to be surrounded on whether or not I'm going on a date with someone and if I will marry them. It's like, no, obviously. You know that the answer is no. But what I do find interesting is the psychology behind it. Why are they thinking this? Do they think that it is a compliment? Are they trying to say, "Wow, you're so beautiful. Let's date, let's marry," as if that is the only thing that a woman is good for, is like what they look like, and the first thing that the first thought is, "Let's get married." And so I do find it fascinating. And so I like to try and figure out where that's coming from as a greater understanding. And so my method for these responses has just been, sure. Yeah, why not? And that has been the best thing that I could have done in response, because almost immediately they never say a second message. I think there are very few who actually bother to say a second message. As soon as I say yes, let's do it, let's get married, then I don't have a barrage and follow up of spam from them. Because I have had other situations where they just keep on pushing, and it becomes really nasty of, why won't you respond to me? Why won't you just marry me? Oh, now you're a fucking bitch. And it's this switch from, wow, you're so beautiful, to you are the most disgusting thing alive. And so I found that if I just say, yes, I will marry you, I avoid all of that turnaround from the love to the hate. So it's worked out. But it also makes me upset, because where are all my husbands at? Where are all my dates, It's very upsetting. Anyway, Twitch, we're about to hit an ad break, just as a heads up for you guys as well. I think that I'm happy to chat for a little bit longer, and then we'll play some games. Hi, Elisa. I think you'd be a delightful person to spend an evening with. Thank you. Hi, Pass. How you going? Just catching up. Come to Canberra. I actually haven't been to Canberra, so I wouldn't be opposed to next time I can travel more of Australia, going to Canberra. Hi, Princess. One day someone will take you up on one of these offers. Yeah, and then I have to really put my money where my mouth is. Hey, if I have the funds, I will meet you halfway. I'll meet you in Hawaii. I guess that's the wrong direction, though. But maybe if I'm in New Zealand again, it would be the correct direction. I'll drive to Iceland. Try me. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I mean. It's like, I gotta be careful, because there will be people who will take me up. Hi, Thanos, by the way. If you have hair on your knuckles of your toes, it means you have a healthy blood circulation. That's nice. Hirsutism is abnormal hair growth. Bees have hairs on their eyes. Ooh, okay, all right. Hi from Western Australia. Hello, Jonathan. It's a pleasure to have you here. G'day, mate. How do you have perfect teeth? I got braces, water bag. I got braces, and then I looked after them. I think not everyone, but a lot of people who have braces, they know what it's like to have a whole bunch of crap stuck in their braces. And so I feel like they typically have better oral care because of all of that. But anyway, that's my teeth. Do you know what's so interesting, though? I get so many compliments on my teeth. And then by the same token, I have people who, that is their go-to to insult me. I think the people who are doing the insults are more so they're just trying to take something that they think you'd be insecure about. So, for example, when people are like, ugly ginger, it's like, yeah, I am a ginger. Gingers are so gross. I'm like, yeah, I know. I have to live with this, Anyhow. Hi, Rob. Good to see you. A white woman getting married these days is quite rare. I mean, I would say that I would say that a lot of women who are getting married later. And you probably, maybe you are seeing that more in Caucasian cultures. I haven't really thought about it. Girl was saying she wished I could get coffee with her, and I was like, well, I like drive way. She was like Puerto Rico. Oh, right. So you were saying you like to drive whatever. And then yeah, you can't really drive to Puerto Rico. Maybe next time. I enjoy social analysis. Who'd have thought? Yeah, I'm actually on my 294th marriage. How do you guys think I afford to live stream full time at the numbers that I have? Like, you think that I make enough money live streaming to afford my lifestyle? How do you think I got here, okay? We're just burning all those residual checks. I don't actually know if that's the terminology. I'm just committed to it in case it was correct. Anyhow, yeah, I got all this money from all of my my divorces. The problem is that some of them I am the one who has to pay out. It's like a Ponzi scheme. So I owed people something, so I had to marry so that they would owe me money after the divorce so that I could pay this off, and then it just becomes this ongoing thing. My marriage 294 is just all a big old Ponzi scheme. I'm just out here innovating. What can I say? Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for all the support. I'm an innovator. The guys who switch from love to hate are weird. Yeah, exactly. They need therapy for sure. Married to so many random strangers, and now they all found out they're not the only ones. Exactly right. Hey, yeah, I didn't want to say on your behalf, Dave, about Canberra, but I'm glad you mentioned it. Have a good day. Thank you, Todd. I had braces, don't really care about oral. I look, I said oral care, and I was like, I hope that no one takes this the wrong way. And yet now I read someone else's message and I'm the one who's being immature about it. Yeah, psychology is so interesting for sure. I'm taking a summer class in social psychology. Also, can you guys hear that aeroplane? Because if you can't, I'm just going... I said this the other day, is if it's not picking up on the mic, I'm just going to talk over the plane. Because if otherwise, it might be annoying for me, but if it doesn't bother you, then I'll just keep on talking. Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right. So when I hear it, I'll just keep on talking. If you notice I'm slightly distracted, then maybe it's because of the airplanes. But if it's not picking up, then there's no point in me pausing. Perfect. Okay. I don't hear a plane. Gorgeous. Yeah, stop pushing the sound effect. Okay, so I'll talk over it in that case, because there's, like I said, there's no point in me pausing if you can't even hear it. So, Sirius says, I'm taking a summer class in social psychology. One of my favorite things I've learned is terror management theory. The theory that people can't handle the crushing anxiety of their mortality, so they seek ways of symbolic immortality, plant a tree, have kids, and join a religion. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I guess it makes sense because, you know, children will live on after you, hopefully. That is the idea. And you know, there are cases where it's not the case, but we hope that they would live on. And then that, especially if that is your genetics, that you'd be passing that on. Planting a tree that would live for hundreds of years after you, hopefully. Okay. Cool. Well, thank you for sharing, Sirius. If you have any other things, I really want to learn some things like this as well. So I'll have to do even a short course or whatever in psychology. So maybe I'll do social psychology as well. That sounds really interesting and the kind of stuff that I find fascinating. Braces also make your teeth easy to clean. Do you mean when you have braces or after you have braces? I think they try to take things that you'd be proud about and try to knock you down a peg. Exactly, yeah. And they also, Kiwi Man, they also use things that they think women are typically insecure about. So, you know, hair, that's why they say like how much to cut your hair, because they just assume every woman is very, very tied up, pun intended, with their identity when it comes to their hair. You know, people are insecure about foreheads, noses, teeth, because some people are like, oh my god, you have such a gummy smile. I don't really have a gummy smile until I've really properly started laughing. Like when I go I think that's the only time that my gums really come into play. But when I talk, I don't have a gummy way of speaking, and so I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And I don't have horse teeth either. I don't have these massive teeth. So I'm like, you're just wrong. But there is something I have thought about where I feel like some people will notice things more than others. So it might be that their insecurity is their teeth or forehead or nose or whatever. So they hyper focus on other people's features. And so that's why they're like, you've got such ugly horse teeth, because they probably have ugly horse teeth. Okay, I mean, if we go on a date halfway between Detroit and the UK, could be also Siberia. Oh, if we go the other way, yes, let's go ride a polar bear. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this will not go badly whatsoever. But I think also the visa situation to go to Russia for us both would be us having the same amount of like barriers. So I do think that this is like, hey, if you're committed, we're putting in the same amount of work. I like it. I can tell you now I'm not committed. I'm so sorry, Nick Diesel. I'm so sorry. I've really led you on this entire time. I like the idea of it, but I can feel myself starting to get the anxiety and the panic of the reality. I can't do it. This is the problem. I really was talking a big game, and if only. Honestly, if I had a lot more money from my 200 marriages, then I would consider it, because then I'm like, sure. Like, what is the risk? What is the risk? It would be a lot of fun, you know? So I think that if I were to come into a lot of money, that just randomly flying to places I'd never have thought about going is probably where my money would go. It would really just be that. Okay, I'm going to quickly catch up with these messages as well. I like your ears, but I can't see them. Yeah, that's because I'm really, really insecure about them, and I don't want... What's going on here? I don't want people to make fun of my ears, but no, I have fine ears. There you go. You get a little ear show. An ear show alongside the air show. Adeline took 3 generations of women before she found a proper boyfriend, and everyone is trying to rush things. They all want to speak French kisses to Vienna and wear golden cross necklaces so they can ride camels in Egyptian Dubai. Why is it when women enter 30s they become picky when picking guys, but when younger it's easier? So I actually, DJ, if you're still here, I do have an answer to this. Typically, I would assume, and this won't go for everyone, but if you have not married or have not entered in a lifetime partnership by the time they're 30, they have been dating in their 20s. And there's reasons why those haven't worked out. And so after 10, maybe even 15 years of dating, of course you're going to be a bit pickier because you want to not fall into the same pattern that has happened the last 10 years. Like, if you have had unsuccessful relationships and you want to have a successful relationship, you'll be more choosy, no? I feel like that's pretty simple. And especially when you think about some of the people out there, you want to be careful and you want to be picky. I'm also a ginger, says BB. I never got told something like that, at least here in Italy. I wonder if it changes based on where you live. Yeah, I think that a lot of people will punch down on gingers just because it's like an easy one to do. I get it more online than I got it in person, I will admit. So maybe it's like an American thing. I think everyone in Australia and New Zealand, they would make jokes about me being a ginger, but I wouldn't say that I got bullied for being a ginger. I'm not sure about other gingers, but I would never say I got bullied. There are a lot of comments, and like I said, I think a lot more of my issues have been when I've been online. There were an inappropriate commentary of like, do the carpets match the drapes? And where it's like, I'm so young. Why would you ask that? That is like, actually, you're just being like a pedophile now. This is when I was a kid, obviously. Now I'm just like, okay, well, you're just being gross. But I do remember at a young age being asked that, and I was like, you know what? I'll be very crass. And this might be even uncomfortable. I got asked the question, do the carpets match the drapes? Before I was even at an age where I was growing carpet. Isn't that disgusting? So why would you ask like a 10-year-old that question? It's ew, it's gross. And even if this is from other 10-year-olds, it's still so weird. It's so inappropriate and so gross. And so that is something that I have I think that when people ask it even as an adult, that kind of trauma gets triggered where it's like, I knew how gross that was. And so it's still gross as a fully grown adult. But I know that whenever I hear it, I think about it being asked when I was a 10-year-old, essentially. Right? And so it's just ridiculous. And so don't get me wrong, the question came from other kids who were in primary school, but that doesn't make it appropriate. That doesn't make it appropriate whatsoever. Yes, I do have piercings. I just don't have earrings. I don't. I got them pierced when I was young, but I don't bother wearing earrings because I'm not a big fan of them. Too many cooks. Okay. All you have to do is claim you live twice as far from Clem as you actually live. Meet halfway at your location. I like it. Okay. Okay, no playing. Good. Crazy to think Sydney or Perth, but Canberra, wow, is it cool? Any Aussies known other kangaroos? Canberra is the capital city of Australia, and it's very, 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 very small. And so you basically can walk around it in a day. But I think that's kind of why I want to go, because I know nothing about Canberra. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what, that's it. And I'm curious. Yeah, the people that live there are politicians and bureaucrats. They don't spoil the real cities so much. Just finished the last chapter, morality, altruism, and communication. Oh, I'm so envious. Why so serious? That's exactly the kind of stuff that I would love to study. And it's something I will do eventually, I think. But in the meantime, I just do it as a, I guess, social experiment without the actual academic side of things. Once your teeth line up uniformly, they're easier to clean. Yes, yeah, that's so true. And I can agree with that in terms of even flossing. If your teeth are crowded, it's harder to floss. If they are straight, it's just like, and then even just regular brushing, even if you're not flossing. Yeah, for sure, Fred. I completely agree with this. Okay. Take care of yourself, Goku. Thank you so much. Yeah, I hope my hubbies check in. I haven't heard from them in a while. Anything to put a woman down, exactly. My dad has raisin small teeth, and when he went and got new teeth, they were huge teeth. I was calling him George Washington for a while, so I threw them away, and now he's working on his second pair. Well, if they're fake teeth, then sure, yeah. If they're fake teeth, why do they have to be so large? You know what? I'm in agreement with you here, Rob. If they are not even real teeth, then let's work on getting normal size for sure. Oh, goodness gracious. If you had one thing to say to the world, what would it be? Poop. Get him. I looked it up, and back when you were in Australia, the halfway point to Cleveland was Hawaii, in Hilo, Hawaii. The halfway point from Cleveland to England is Narsarsuaq in Greenland, which may be invaded and a U.S. colony soon. Yeah, I haven't heard. I know that was something that Trump was talking about, but I haven't heard talks about Greenland for a while. I guess with everything in Iran. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's enough about that. I have technically been to Singapore, but I was quite young. Hi, Farticus. Why do people think being mean is fun or cool? Well, that's the thing, is it makes people feel better. So, I actually learnt this quite recently, Rob. I always wondered it because it's not an instinct that I have to punch down. But I was watching a Healthy Gamer GG video, Dr. K. He's a psychologist and he talks about a lot of stuff. And he said that a lot of bullying, it is kind of textbook behavior, where often they are getting bullied, say, at home or with siblings, cousins, or with friends. And if they are the ones being bullied, then they see the perpetrator as the person in the position of power. And so what that teaches is that to be in the position of power and to not feel like shit, you become the bully. And so that's where that cycle continues and is passed on. So if instead of feeling open and vulnerable to rejection and hurt, you be the one who does the hurt. Hurt people. It's that kind of situation. And so it was in one of his recent videos as a reminder. And we talk about this, and I feel like a lot of people know this as a concept, but his video was a little bit more academic about it. If you want to check that out, I can't remember which one it was. Just Healthy Gamer GG as a channel in general. Gingers make up more of the population than trans people, really. There are so many non-gingers who dye their hair red. This is also true. I didn't even consider that. I've had more than one girl basically say, I can just marry you if I turn 40 and haven't found anyone. Hi, Dave. That is so problematic. I'm so sorry that you have had to go through that. You know what, Dave? The best thing you can do is get married now. You know what? We can get married as an example. And then that will show them that they were very, 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 very rude about this. And then they'll be the one who's 40 and unmarried. And you will be married. And it will be a big fuck you. Okay. I asked my aunt the question and got slapped hard, as you should have, Farticus, as you should have. When someone told me in Canberra was the capital city of Australia, I was like, no, it isn't. I was so confused. Yeah, people assume it's Sydney, right? When I was in 5th grade, I had a teacher who'd hold me in during research, and I'll stop there. But adults with kids are so... Oh, Rob, I'm so sorry. Yeah. The thing is, thank you for sharing your experience, because I know it's not easy to share these things, but it is absolutely correct that these things happen to guys as well. So thank you for the reminder, and I'm just so sad. That's Rob. I hope that you've been able to at least not have those experiences affect your new ones, because that can be really tough, you poor thing. Okay, the only check in the hubbies need to do is check in the mail, y'all. Exactly right. That's such a good one. Hey, Oakenhill, good to see you, and G's as well. If I have one thing to say, the world is very simple. It's hello. That's cute. I love Dr. K as well. I've loved him for years, but I honestly haven't been watching his videos more recently, so I've started changing that. Moving back to my old flat. Oh my gosh. On top of the Canada Revenue Tower. That sounds awesome. Enjoy working on your music and sketches. That's wonderful news. I hope that that's a really good turnaround from you too. Best time to visit Canberra is in February for the Multicultural Festival. March for Enlighten and Balloon Festival is on. September, October for Floriade. Is that like flowers? I don't know what Floriade would be. I'd say March is best though, hell yeah. Social intuitionist model. The idea that people first have fast emotional reactions to morally relevant events that in turn influence their process of reasoning toward a judgment of right or wrong. The teachers use the example of two siblings going on a camping trip. They're alone in their cabin and decide to have relations. It was a mutual decision. She was already on birth control. He had a condom. They enjoyed it, but decided to never do it again. Also to keep it to themselves, of course, so they became a little bit closer. When people are asked, most will say that what they did was wrong. When questioned further, their reasoning is, well, it's just wrong. This dead end in moralistic reasoning is called moral dumbfounding. It is, because the thing is, why so serious? Because you could see my genuine shock of what I was reading, of course. I'm like, what am I reading right now? But I understood it was going to reach a point since you have been studying the social psychology. And I totally understand. There are so many people who just fall into the it's just wrong because that is, and to be fair, please don't go sleeping with your sibling. I feel like I should just also get that out there. But I understand that it's probably used as an extreme case to help then understand more common occurrences. And so a lot of people might feel that way about homosexuality, especially if they're religious, where it's like, well, it's just wrong. That's what we've told. It's just wrong. And it's like, and then when they are faced with the idea of and not having the ability to say anything, well, it's just wrong, then that's what is moral dumbfounding. So I do feel like it can be a very complex thing to cover when we're not providing areas and spaces to have these conversations, to self-reflect and understand it. And so I what I'm taking away, why so serious, is that it seems like you have a teacher that is not scared of being too politically correct so that you can at least really get to the crux of things and have that space to talk about it and properly reflect and philosophize, I suppose. And then that can help when coming with potentially shocking things in psychology or socialization as well. Fascinating. Oh gosh. Confronting. How about that? Confronting. I don't want the US to take Greenland, but it does sound kind of like Greenland is arguing against free security if you think that, it's over my pay grade, Fred, so we'll not worry about the logistics of Greenland today. You're an only child as well, Rob. Okay. Turk will marry Dave. Hell yeah. Hi, Phil. How you going? It's good to see you again. New content creator. Am I allowed to have a shout out my channel? We be about that LGBTQ is great and it's okay to come out. If you shout out, then you will be supportive of LGBTQ. Well, chill vibes. I love your message. I do. The concern, I will tell you my concerns as a content creator myself. I hear someone who writes this and I am so jaded that it's really hard to know if you actually mean that, because there is a possibility that I now say, hey guys, go check out this channel, and it's the complete opposite of what you do. And so just keep that in mind when doing cold call shout outs on other random people's channels. That it's something that if you are true to your cause, that I want to give you a heads up that people might not necessarily be trusting the cause either. So I don't know what we can do to workshop that. But in general, etiquette does not really dictate of just shouting out your own channel in other people's channels as well. Yeah, it's just that etiquette thing, hey. I had multiple women tell me they would consider marrying me when they're 30, as in if something else doesn't work out. But that's the problem, right? Is that the idea of being like, oh, like maybe we could get married if something doesn't work out, I think it's incredibly insulting, because it's like, I see you as someone eligible, but not for me. And then it's also this implication, whether intentional or not, this implication that you wouldn't be married at that point. And so then they're just settling for you. And that's insulting too. It's just not the compliment people think it is. Kind of came out. I can't believe I wrote that. You're good, I'm good. I didn't even realize it until it came out in therapy a few months ago. So it's scary. You can yeah, it's like a repression thing, right? Oh, Rob. Well, I'm glad that you're going through and getting therapy for sure. And the fact that it must be so confronting for you. And let me put it this way. I think that the fact that you've been able to say that today shows that it is something that you actually are working on. Because if you've been repressing that for so long and not talking about it and forgetting about it, the fact that you're able to say it to a room of strangers, essentially, I hope that shows that you're able to take some ownership of the situation to help help further your healing process as well. So I'm glad to hear you're going through therapy too, because I know that that kind of stuff would be very, very, very difficult to process. And a lot of us just cannot even imagine. So all the best to you, Rob. All the best indeed. Okay. Do you say ooh woo on Discord? No, I say ooh woo here on my live stream. Hi, Plains. Can't wait because I'm going swimming tonight. Enjoy your swimming. That sounds like it's going to be a great time. I could go for a swim, admittedly. It's a bit warm. But yeah, we were just chatting about social psychology today. Sounding like a philosopher for sure. Kissing cousins. Oh no, not the cousins. Don't get me started on teachers. Yeah, there are so many. Look, there are so many bad ones, but there are some good ones too. As I understand it, splitting is a psychological phenomenon where people break things down into black and white morality, purely good or purely bad, and then you can find the gray within that, perhaps. Yeah, thanks. Hi, Dave. I was working at my uncle's restaurant, and my cousin, she was working as well. An old person asked if we were kissing cousins. What? Yeah, of course yeah, exactly. The thing is, they already said such like a blasphemous thing. You have to throw it on back. I completely understand throwing it back to them to make them confront their own words, basically. Oh, goodness. Hi, Pierre. You'd make a great dad, but yeah, not actually a compliment. How about a shout out? Ah! How about that? Joined 1 day ago. Well, maybe they are being true, but they just still need to learn the etiquette. I know the problem asking for a shout out. Some streamers won't be as nice as Clem was about it. Some streamers will just see that as a ban, no further dialogue added. Well, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and if they are genuinely trying to build up a channel, they need to learn it from somewhere that etiquette is don't go onto someone else's stream and shout out your own content. Another problem. Oh yeah, sorry. Thank you for the follows, by the way. I heard a story of an evangelical woman changing her mind on homosexuality when she got to watch her daughter basically fall in love with her best friend from when they were young to when they were older. She said she could see how it was nothing different from the normal heterosexual experience of falling in love. That is really beautiful. I don't know if her daughter actually ended up in a romantic relationship with a best friend, but I think either or, right? If they were romantic, then good. It shows that this woman was able to accept her daughter for who she is. But even if the daughter didn't end up being with her, I'm assuming the same-sex best friend, it shows that they were able to visualize and accept a possibility of it, and just, I think that's also really nice. It's good to have that recognition, and whatever trigger comes up is still really good. Very, very warm indeed. Hey, if it get too hot, you could try soaking your feet. It would dispel the heat via circulation. I could just get like a little bucket below my desk or something. I'm actually okay today. But in the future, I will look into it. The Atlantic is not ready for swimming. I got water in my boot while fishing, so I took them off and ran out into the water. My feet instantly started cramping. A little bit too chilly, hey. It's real cold. Fishing's getting good though. Hell yeah, I love it. I came out to my dad as bi, and he made a point to point out that some people come out just for attention. And we're like, Dad, yes, finally, you're talking to me for the first time. Thank goodness. I don't have words, okay? Too hot for me to be chill about that one. Yeah, can we just go play catch now? Are you finally giving me the attention? Please. Please. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a good point. I think that having like a damp cloth on the back of my neck could achieve a little bit as well. Or who knew, having a hair tie, that could also help achieve some aeration. Anyway, guys, the fact that I have caught up to the chat makes me think that's a good segue to go play some video games. So if you're over on YouTube, we are going to end the live stream. However, you can come watch me play some Red Dead Redemption 2 over on Twitch. It's the best place to watch. But technically, the VODs or the lives are available on my other YouTube channel. But you can't live chat over there. So I do recommend Twitch if you want to watch. But that was a lot of fun. I'll be back tomorrow if you guys want to hang out again. And yeah, we're just wrapping up the Mayrathon. So we got just a few more days of daily live streams, and then I'll find out what my schedule is when I hit June. But not ending the live stream on Twitch, so you guys don't have to say bye. But thanks, everyone. Much appreciated. I hope you had fun, and if you did, please consider subscribing or coming over to hang out, check out the other socials, go like all the videos. You know how it is. But in general, just thanks for being here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you get up to. Okay, bye for now!